It says, through Abraham's seed, referring to his many descendants, but in particular to one, Jesus, God would bless the entire world. All who would be part of Abraham's seed, which happened by faith in Christ, would find that Abraham's God would be their God as well. Even back then, Abraham believed God, and it was accounted to him for righteousness. Abraham was no more saved by works than the thief on the cross was. It's always and only God's saving grace that brings salvation. Abraham fulfilled his end of the covenant promise. His obedience revealed the faith that took hold of the promise of salvation. His works didn't justify him. Instead, the works showed that he was already justified. That's the essence of the covenant and how it is expressed in the life of a life of faith. And then in the pink section at the bottom, dwell on the great truth that your hope of salvation comes only from the righteousness of Jesus credited to you by faith. Before we go any further, I want to make this very clear. It is absolutely true that our hope of salvation is only because of Jesus and his righteousness. That's my position. Only because of Jesus and his righteousness do we have salvation. So we're not suggesting that we can be saved in any other way than Jesus and his righteousness. However, I am going to suggest that Satan has perverted the true meaning of it. And if you think strategically, before we even get into the evidence of what I'm about to say, after Christ achieves his mission and Satan can't stop it, he tried many ways to stop it. He attacked the whole world and tried to get everybody to close their hearts at the time of the flood, but the flood came and kept open the avenue of the Messiah. Then after Abraham, he targets Abraham's children and descendants to try to destroy this group of people, because now he knows he doesn't have to focus on the whole world, just this one family. If he can get rid of them, then the avenue for the Messiah is closed. But he fails there. When Christ is born, he tries to get Herod to kill baby Jesus, because if he can get baby Jesus killed, then he won't achieve his mission, because his mission wasn't the shedding of innocent blood. That was not what was necessary. Herod would have done that. We have innocent baby Jesus bloodshed, but still plan of salvation is obstructed. He tempts Jesus in the wilderness to get Jesus to try and give in to temptation to obstruct the mission, but he fails in every attempt. So Jesus completes his mission at the cross, rises again, ascends to heaven. He can't stop Jesus from completing his mission now. So what's his next strategy? Only strategy? To twist the meaning of it in the minds of everybody on earth. So he came, he achieved, but what he achieved is something that was never intended. It was not something he never actually really needed to achieve. But we all believe he achieved something that was not necessary for our salvation. And what is it we all teach, or the whole Christian world teaches, that he achieved that isn't even necessary for our salvation?
That he calmed God down.
Appeasement, you want to say it that way? Legal pardon, you want to say it that way? Payment for our sin, if you want to say it that way. This whole penal legal structure is based on an infection that happened when Constantine converted, that God's law works like human law works. And when that happened, the whole world shifted its understanding of the cross away from his achievement, which was taught in the early church, called the recapitulation theory, that Christ destroyed sin, destroyed Satan's lies and Satan's power, and restored humankind back to God's original design in his own humanity. Thus he rose again with a perfected humanity that he perfected. Thus he becomes the source of salvation for all who will obey him. Hebrews 5, 8, and 9. That's the real achievement. But what instead, there's a fraud that's being perpetrated upon people. Jesus died to pay your penalty. And if you accept the legal penalty, then you are accounted as righteous or declared to be righteous, even though you're not. This is how it's taught. And I've talked to multiple theologians that teach this idea of righteousness or justification is a legal declaration from God for those who accept the legal payment. Even though they're not actually righteous, God declares them to be so. And I say, so God's lying. You're saying he's declaring, if I accept Jesus, he declares me to be righteous even though I'm not righteous. So he's declaring something to be true that's not true. Yeah, but. They don't like that. It's all because of the infection. And this is what Daniel 7:25 warned about. A power would seek to change God's law. Or Paul wrote about in Thessalonians, the man of sin would come. And he would set himself up in God's temple, proclaiming himself to be God. Which temple? The Spirit temple. And how did he do it? By infecting the Spirit temple with the idea that God runs his universe no different than a Roman dictator runs Rome.
Tim?
Yes.
So, do you think that the early Christians understood the picture of God correctly before Constantine, up until Constantine?
I think many of them did. And in fact, not even the early Christians. After David's big sin with Bathsheba and Uriah, what does David write in Psalms 51? Father, declare that I am righteous even though I am not. Create in me a clean heart, O God. Renew a right spirit within me. What did Jesus say to Nicodemus? Except a man be declared righteous, even though he's not, he cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. Is that what Jesus told him? Except a man be legally pardoned, even though he doesn't deserve it.
Born again.
Yes, this is what the scriptures always taught. It's the same truth over and over again. We are defective in heart and mind with bad motives. We can't fix what's broken. Our Christ came, partook of our humanity, perfected human nature in his own journey on earth, and now he offers his victory, so it's no longer I that live, but Christ lives in me. We become, according to Peter, partakers of the divine nature. This is an actual real thing. We get new heart, new motives. So, if you actually look at this word in both Romans chapter 4 and the Galatians chapter 3:6 quoted in the lesson, where it talks about Abraham believed God and was either accounted righteous or declared righteous or credited as righteous, the Greek word there used in both places is logizomoi. I'm not really good at speaking Greek, but logizomoi. And here's what the Strong's lexicon says about this word used in both places. The word deals with reality. If I logizomoi, or reckon that my bank book has $25 in it, it actually has $25 in it. Otherwise, I'm deceiving myself. The word refers to facts, not suppositions. That's what it means to be declared righteous. It has to be there in the heart. It can't be God declares you righteous even though you're not. This is a lie. And it's so deeply embedded into Christianity, and I'm going to, in a second, show you why this keeps Christians paralyzed. And this is an infection that has prevented the Christian church from finishing its mission. But, so what is genuine justification? And notice the sequence of events. The natural human heart is in what state towards God since Adam? Enmity against him, distrusting him. Abraham trusted God, it says. And then, after his heart had been changed, notice, his heart, natural distrust, his heart now trusts God. There's a fundamental motivational change. His heart was set right with God. What is another word for setting something right?
Made righteous.
Justifying it. When you justify the margins on your Word document, you are setting them right. To set right means to justify. So Abraham's heart was set right from distrust to trust, and then he was recognized or accounted as righteous. Why? Because he actually was. He had his right heart again. His heart was renewed. It's real. But what we're taught instead is, God declares you to be righteous even though you're not. Your heart's not really true. It's not set right. You don't really trust him. You're going to continue to live in sin forever. Just be sure that you confess them and get the legal account and blood paid to your account in heaven. It keeps Christians paralyzed.
That understanding of justification truly does explain the thief on the cross to me.
Exactly. He trusted him. His heart was set right. And that's the key.
Perfection, too. We think, the Bible says, be ye perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. And yet we always say, we could never be perfect. But it depends on our definition of what perfection is. Is perfection true appreciation, trust, and love in God?
Biblical perfection is maturity. It's growing up. It's becoming mature people that have that mature trust, friendship, relation with God. That's what biblical perfection is. It's not about performance. Yeah, Russell.
Well, one of the threads I see running through all of these covenants we've been talking about is that the only responsibility humanity has is to be willing listeners. That's it. Everything else is on God. All the other responsibility is his.
And that type of listening, get it, guys, that type of listening is an applicable listening. It's like when you listen to do you listen to your doctor's prescription and instructions? It's not, I heard him, but then I go home and do my own thing. Listening in this context means an application. I listen, understand, and that makes sense. I'm listening to you. I'm doing it. Okay? So it's more, so there's a behavioral component there, but it does stem from a heart that trusts.